Welcome back to the Leaders Summit 2021. We've had a busy day so far and ready to keep the momentum and, of course, the inspiration going. We're very pleased at this point to present special remarks from both His Excellency Sultan bin Saad Al Muraiki, he's State Minister for Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar, and Minister Malgorzata Yorozhinska Jedinak. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Minister. She is Secretary of State, Ministry of Funds and Regional Policy for Poland. But first, His Excellency Sultan bin Saad Al Muraiki, over to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي والسعادة، سعادة السيدة ساندا أوديا مبو الرئيس والمدير التنفيذي للاتفاق العالمي للأمم المتحدة، السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسرني في البداية المشاركة في هذا المؤتمر الهام، كما أشكر جميع القائمين على تنظيم وإعداد هذا المؤتمر، متمنيا أن يحقق أهدافه المنشودة. تؤكد التحديات العديدة الراهنة للأزمة المتفاقمة للتغيير المناخي وجائحة فيروس كورونا وتداعياتها الخطيرة على كافة المجتمعات على أهمية مبادرة الاتفاق العالمي للأمم المتحدة التي بوسعها إحراز تغييرات إيجابية للارتقاء بالطموح العالمي للعمل الجماعي لما تمثله من شراكة مبتكرة لتعزيز العلاقات الاستراتيجية والفعالة مع القطاع الخاص، وما تتميز به من قدرة ودور هام في تشجيع ممارسات الأعمال التجارية المستدامة. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، تواصل دولة قطر مسيرتها التنموية وفق رؤية قطر الوطنية 2030 لتحقيق التنمية المستدامة، وتحتل مسألة تغير المناخ حيزا هاما في أولويات دولة قطر التي اطلعت بدورها كشريك فاعل في المجتمع الدولي خلال مؤتمر القمة للعمل المناخي الذي انعقد في شهر سبتمبر عام 2019، حيث أعلن حضرة صاحب السمو أمير دولة قطر عن مساهمة دولة قطر بمبلغ 100 مليون دولار أمريكي لدعم الدول الجزرية الصغيرة النامية والدول الأقل نموا للتعامل مع تغير المناخ. ويقوم صندوق قطر للتنمية بتنفيذ هذا التعهد، ويعمل إلى جانب الشركاء الاستراتيجيين بمساعدة هذه الدول على وضع استراتيجية ناجعة وتنفيذ برامج للتعامل مع التغير المناخي وتعزيز النمو الأخضر. السيدات والسادة، في إطار الشراكة الفاعلة لدولة قطر في المجتمع الدولي لمواجهة التحديات العالمية، ستستضيف دولة قطر مؤتمر الأمم المتحدة الخامس المعني بأقل البلدان نموا، الذي سينعقد خلال الفترة من 23 إلى 27 يناير 2022 في الدوحة. وسيشكل هذا المؤتمر فرصة بالغة الأهمية لدعم جهود أقل البلدان نموا الرامية للتعافي من جائحة كورونا وتحقيق الانتعاش الاقتصادي والتصدي لآثار تغير المناخ، وبناء قدرة هذه البلدان على مواجهته إزاء التحديات في المستقبل. السيدات والسادة، يتمتع القطاع الخاص بمكانة فريدة تمكنه من تقديم إسهامات هامة لتحقيق التنمية المستدامة الشاملة وتقديم حلول كثيرة مبتكرة في شتى المجالات. وتعد مبادرة المرفق العالمي للقطاع الخاص لمواجهة وباء كوفيد-19 التي أطلقها برنامج الأمم المتحدة الإنمائي مع الشركاء الآخرين لمساعدة المجتمعات المحلية في التعافي بشكل أفضل من تداعيات جائحة كورونا، خطوة رائدة يحتذى بها لإشراك القطاع الخاص في الجهود العالمية لمعالجة الآثار السلبية للوباء. وأشير إلى أن غرفة قطر تدعم بشكل كبير هذه المبادرة وتواصل الجهود لمساعدة الشركات على مكافحة تداعيات الوباء على الأعمال التجارية. كما يشارك القطاع الخاص في دولة قطر بشكل فاعل في الجهود الرامية للتصدي للوباء، ويطلع بإسهامات هامة في الجهود المبذولة لتحقيق أهداف وقايات خطة التنمية المستدامة لعام 2030 والانتقال إلى الاقتصاد الأخضر وتحقيق الاستدامة البيئية. وأشير أيضا إلى أن دولة قطر قامت بتخصيص مساهمة متعددة السنوات بإجمالي 20 مليون دولار لدعم شبكة مختبرات تسريع الأثر الإنمائي التابعة لبرنامج الأمم المتحدة الإنمائي، وتعد مستثمر مؤسس لهذه المختبرات. ونثمن جهود هذه الشبكة من خلال التدابير والحلول المبتكرة التي تقدمها للتعامل مع أزمة وباء فيروس كورونا والتحديات التنموية، وتطوير مجموعة من الحلول العلمية السريعة وتمكين رواد الأعمال والمبتكرين. ختاما، تؤكد دولة قطر على مواصلات إسهاماتها والتعاون الفعال في كافة الجهود العالمية والإقليمية لتحقيق الأهداف المنشودة نحو عالم أكثر عدلا وإنصافا وقدرة على مواجهة كافة التحديات. شاكر لكم الاستماع، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to take part in the Leaders Summit 2021, the world's largest summit of responsible business. I believe it will be a great opportunity to discuss the most important issues of sustainable development in these difficult pandemic times. Because of the scale of the health, economic, and social consequences of the pandemic, there is a need for cooperation between all stakeholders in the socio-economic sphere. In Poland, we cooperate closely, among others, with the enterprise sector. Many state-owned companies and private enterprises actively support the systemic solutions to mitigate the spread consequences of the pandemic. Social and economic restriction induced entrepreneurs to focus mainly on short-term goals and challenges related to maintain jobs and security of transaction in the supply chain. In times of a pandemic, the philanthropic and charitable activities of the business are very important, but particularly difficult. Its continuation in all circumstances confirms the real social responsibility of companies. Examples of spectacular philanthropic activities in Poland will be presented during a panel organized with Leaders Summit by the UN Global Compact Network Poland, Philanthropy in Central and Eastern Europe. Global Compact Network in Poland is our long-term partner. We appreciate its active involvement in the Partnership for the Implementation of SDGs in Poland, National Forum of the 2030 Agenda Stakeholders, Urban Policy, Thematic Conference, educational activities in the fields of SDGs. This is done by providing expert knowledge, experience and support in building cooperation, networks, and information activities. A good example of cooperation between the Polish government, business, and the Global Compact Network Poland is a set of tools we have developed to minimize the risk of forcible labor in the supply chain. Development, innovation, and the highest quality of life are concentrated in cities. Therefore, we also cooperate with Global Compact Network Poland in the framework of urban policy. The pandemic has shown that cities have to be resilient to crises of all kinds. The replication of each crisis depends on the city's readiness to respond to specific predictable impacts. In this context, together with UNGC Network Poland, we are going to organize a high-level discussion dedicated to cybersecurity cities of the future during the Internal Governance Forum, which will take place in Katowice in December this year. For several years, Poland has been undertaking intensively activity to support the ecological and pro-climate transformation of cities. We are currently in the process of updating our national urban policy strategic document, which sets direction for urban development. The unique opportunity to take a comprehensive look at the challenges for cities and business related to climate change and environmental quality will be the 11th session of the World Urban Forum. It will be organized also in Katowice on 26th to 30th of June 2022, under the main topic, Transforming Our City for a Better Urban Future. We count on cooperation with UNGC and involving business during WOOF 11, during which their voices will be very important. We already have permanent cooperation in this area with Global Compact Network Poland. We believe that close cooperation of governments, business, entrepreneurship, and local government representative cities and their associations is crucial to reach Agenda 2030 goals. Recovery from the crisis must be a joint effort, which requires a strong partnership, innovative approach, and offer a change in the model of operation, both in business and beyond. In this context, we recognize that valuable role of UN Global Compact as a key actor initiating and strengthening cooperation between business and the government for reaching of Agenda 2030 goals. Thank you for your attention.
Our thanks to those excellencies for their important remarks at that point. Now, a reminder that we want to hear from you. We have more than 15,000 attendees from 120 countries online today. Share what you learned in the chat and on Twitter using the hashtag Leaders Summit. And remember, you can message attendees and speakers to continue your conversation using the attendee and chat features on Hop-In. If you're just joining us, hello, welcome to Leaders Summit 2021, hosted by the United Nations Global Compact. We do hope that you've enjoyed the event so far. My name's Veronica Petroza. I'm honored to be your host and MC for the rest of today's event. You will have heard insights possibly about the UN Global Compact new global strategy and ambition as you've been listening. And we want to promote the 2030 agenda among the business. You can read the strategy in full and learn more about our global programming by visiting the UN Global booth in the Hop-In Pavilion. That Hop-In homepage is absolutely crucial so that you can make the most of today's event. At this point, I want to take you now to Eastern Europe. It is in business's nature to seek solutions to problems, to innovate, and to find creative solutions to complex challenges. Business is driven to innovate not only in terms of the products and services developed, but also in managing challenges and opportunities ahead. Thus, the private sector is absolutely key when it comes to advancing society and contributing to the SDGs. The private sector throughout the COVID-19 pandemic was challenged to think outside the box and innovate in difficult circumstances. This session will showcase innovative business approaches in driving SDG implementation in the region. The two-part session will respectively focus on social and environmental aspects of sustainability and will highlight exemplary corporate practices, challenges, as well as opportunities for post-COVID recovery and sustainable economic growth in the region will be discussed. So let me introduce Olena Froliak, Ukrainian TV newscaster. She will guide you through the next session. Over to you, Olena.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. My name is Olena Froliak. I am a I'm a journalist and TV presenter based in Ukraine. It's my pleasure to moderate this session entitled Capitalizing on Innovation to Fast-Track SDGs in Eastern Europe, part of the United Nations Global Compact's Leaders Summit. It is in a business nature to seek solutions to problems, to innovate, and to find creative solutions to complex challenges. Business is driving to innovate not only in terms of the products and services developed, but also in managing challenges and opportunities ahead. Thus, the private sector can be a key player when it comes to advancing society and contributing to the SDGs. The private sector throughout the COVID-19 pandemic was challenged to think outside of the box and innovate in difficult circumstances. This session will showcase breakthrough innovation and collaborative businesses approaches in driving SDG implementation in the region since the pandemic. The two-part session will respectively focus on social and environmental aspects of sustainability and will highlight exemplary corporate practices. Challenges as well as opportunities for post-COVID recovery and sustainable economic growth in the region will be explored. We will hear today brief remarks from our 7 panelists ranging from the banking sector to energy, to mining and to telecommunications across Eastern Europe. Let us first hear from our panelists in the banking sector. I would like to introduce. So, Ms. Nino Mazurashvili, Deputy CEO with TBC Bank headquartered in Tbilisi, Georgia. Hello. Ms. Dradika Mihailovic, CFO and member of Executive Board with Banca Intesa in Serbia in Italian International Banking Group. And Mr. Sergei Storchak, senior banker with WebRF in Russia. WebRF is among the largest investment companies and development institutes in Russia. Hello. So we have 2 questions and we have 18 minutes for all answers. And my first question for Nino. How important is an innovative mindset to transforming business operation, and what else is needed to spur innovation so as to advance environmental and social sustainability? And how did your company accomplish this? Please, Nino.
Thank you, Aliona, for introducing me. So first of all, let me say a really few words about the TBC Bank. So we are leading financial institution and one of the largest company in a country Georgia. And since 1992, our company has a really significant impact on country's financial, social, economic development. And in these words, we want really to be an example when it comes to sustainable development and environmental friendliness. So regarding your very interesting question, so really in this very challenging and tense environment, as you said, it is very important to bring innovative mindset when we're trying to engage our employees and our consumers in different projects which has an impact on social and in environmental sustainability. And this is exactly what we're thinking about where we are choosing what projects to implement. We are really doing a lot of them, but I would like to tell you about 2 of them only. So first, it would be such a project. So we call it like a startup leave, like a maternity leave. So you know that we are a universal bank. However, we're strongly encouraging business and entrepreneurial mindset inside our company. So we started 2 years ago the project, and we give our employees the opportunity to bring an innovative business idea in any direction. And then we have like a competition, and the jury then find out what are the best 3 ideas, and they give the possibility to our employee to take 6 months fully paid leave, so-called the same as maternity leave, and try to bring their innovative idea into the startup business. And then after the 6 months, if they find that this is what they want to do in the future, then they can go from the bank and continue pursuing their business idea. If not, they always can come back and continue the job which they were previously doing. We already, during these 2 years, we already had 6 winners, but this is not the only importance why we are doing it. The main importance is to really bring out between our young employees and outside in the country, the mindset that innovation, this is something that will really change our country and just increase the awareness of this thing, and saying that we're fully as a bank are supportive for young people just to do the same projects.
Nino, thank you very much. And next, our guest, Ms. Dragica Mihailovic, please, your words.
Yes, like it said, we are living in unique times, and COVID crisis changed the way how we are living, how we are doing our operations. And it's visible that we will have to be innovative in order to rebuild our economies and our society in sustainable manner. This is something which will have to be done. I'm coming from a financial institution that is member of one of the top European banking groups. And Intesa Sanpaolo Group is one of the few European banking groups that join various United Nations initiatives, including the Global Impact. And in this sense, we have a very strong track record of successfully implementing those initiatives. And we as a group are included in the various rankings and global sustainable indices. But what is even more important is that our mission and our business goals do mirror various sustainable development goals. And this is basically something what is deeply rooted in how we are doing our business. And this is how we do measure success, in our delivery. Bank Intesa Belgrade is a leading bank in Serbia, and we do recognize our role, but also its possibility to help and support Serbia in that transformative process. So what is basically the current momentum, and this COVID and post-COVID period will be vital for us. And we do think there are a lot of opportunities for us to react in this domain. So what we are basically doing, we are actively seeking for innovation, for creativity, because this is the way how we are going to fulfill our purpose and add more value to our society. So, well, obviously, we have tools, we have knowledge, and we have means how to support innovation. But also, what we are doing right now is trying to support and to help to those segments of our society that are badly, heavily, affected by pandemic. So what we are continuing to doing, and where we are stepping even more, is to support one business in Serbia, but supporting this innovation part, meaning that we are financing those ideas, helping to develop ideas and businesses by the women in Serbia. And this is something what is our pillar, and something that we are heavily doing that, and we would like to make an impact here in Serbia doing that. Obviously, digitalization is a specific process, and this is our agenda, but this is the same time opportunity to onboard our clients and to help them basically to have the same path. And with digital agenda, with digitalization, you unleash this innovative potential in the system, in private sector, especially in those segments where we count, they will bring that new, I would say, energy in Serbia, that new path and that new sustainable development, I would say, power here. And this is something what is vital. And also, if we are speaking on something where we do think that we can influence, and when we do can potential to that, it's to support various climate actions, because this is where innovation will come. And at the same time, while we are doing that, finding those ideas, helping to those ideas to be developed, we are making impact locally. And this is something that is deeply, deeply rooted in the way how we are doing business. And this is how we foresee that coming period will affect the business, how business done in Serbia. This is the only way for our country. And once again, as a leading bank and part of this international group, we do think that we have a power and basically energy and finally, available assets to do that. And this is something what we are doing.
Thank you very much, Dragica. And Mr. Sergei Storchak, maybe you need to repeat the question or no?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy to join the Leaders Summit. Just situation a bit strange, very noisy around myself because very hot outside of the room. Temperature in Moscow is not usual for us, around 30 degrees. So conditions need to be put on high skill, and so it's a bit noisy. So this year is 10 years anniversary since we joined the United Nations Global Compact. During this time, it was consistently contributed to the promotion of the sustainable development agenda in Russia. Of course, we are state-controlled institutions, but we are our daily operation in fully based on market practices and market discipline. From this point of view, I am really very happy that you invited us to join the discussions. Even so, the discussions is devoted to the role of the private sector. As a national development institutions, the National places a particular emphasis on advancing the SDG principle and best corporate social responsibility practices across Russia. My institution has the responsibility to set an example in implementing the SDG agenda in its practices. At the same time, National Bank also needs to be the leader in setting benchmarks to its clients and partners, as well to the whole of business community of the Russian Federation. An excellent example of this task is the bank's role in the methodology center as a methodology center for sustainable and green finance in my country. The government tasked the bank with drafting the taxonomy and methodology for the green projects. The taxonomy includes the list of eligible sectors and project criteria in order to be classified as green. The methodology describes the process of getting the green status for national instruments as well as their verifications. We carefully examine best international practices. It's very important, and standard in this area, had a broad discussion with the experts, government entities, and business communities. The resultant work will be reflected in the government decree. This will enable to jumpstart the green finance market in Russia. There's big need for this, but still there's big misunderstanding of how it will work. So we are at the heart of the process and hope that we will succeed. Apart from our role in the economy overall, the bank widely incorporates in ESG practices in our own operations. A considerable part of the projects financed by our institutions are devoted to ecology sound sectors, such as development of public transportation, railways, energy efficiency, and etc. The National Bank is also the leader in creating a national system of education and certification and of quality infrastructure projects. You know this initiative of the G20.
Okay, Mr. Sergey, I need to interrupt you because we have the second question. I'm so sorry, okay? We have just seven minutes and we have the second question, okay? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And we have the second question. How can we leverage multi-stakeholder partnerships for breakthrough innovation? Do provide a successful example of this. Please, Nino. Sorry.
Thank you, Alena. So I absolutely want to emphasize that doing the project with the partners is bringing much stronger effect rather than doing something on a solo basis. So I would like to point out one of the very important projects, which is Grace Hopper Award. So you know that this is for inspiring and promoting women in IT. So you know that currently in the whole world, so men are primary, source of the IT employees. So that's why, this Grace Hopper Award is a really important thing to inspire young ladies to go into this direction and also just to try their skills in this area. So we partnered with USAID regarding that. And we think that this really, bringing a really good result. So this was first time that TBC Bank has partnered with this award. And besides that, we have started our IT academy, asking young people to come, and we're trying to teach them IT skills and then employ them in the bank to test their skills, how they can perform. And overall, I would like to point out that 36% of all of our IT employees right now in TBC Bank is a women. We think that this is a really good index right now, and we are really committed to increase it even more. So this is very shortly that I can say about the partnerships.
Thank you. And Jadika, please. 2 minutes.
Yeah, yes, I agree. We need multi-stakeholder partnership. Basically, this is a big condition for any kind of breakthrough innovation. But for the partnership, we also need to build platforms and various ways how to establish that kind of partnership. And there are a couple of examples how we are doing that in our group, in our system, in I would say in the region and also in Serbia where we are operating. We do have specific projects on a group level, meaning that we are covering the whole region where there's a San Paulo group is operating. So we are onboarding our first employees, providing them with specific trainings, knowledge to understand what are requirements related to sustainable economy. So we are providing knowledge and basically trainings which are vital to understand what our society's economy needs. And then next step is obviously that our employees in the banking systems across the Europe are basically connecting with our clients, with our partners, and we are sharing that knowledge. So where it's basically where we do see that it is making a great results. When we speak about, for instance, circular economy, this is the future. And for instance, for Serbia, this is completely new paradigm. And this is the field where we can, not just financing it, but we need to be pioneers here. We need to onboard various segments of our economy. We have to onboard state, private, state sector. This is where we have field where we can make impact, visible impact in that sense. And this is what we are doing. The second thing, once again, I have to come back to digitalization because this is something what is providing, not only that we are making our daily business more effective, but this is the way how we positively affect society where we are working, because digitalization is of course giving the platform, giving opportunities for various segments in our society so they can onboard, so they can transform their businesses. This is how we are helping them to reconnect after the COVID. But also, for instance, and this is the vital plan that we do have, is how to align our basic intentions in that segment with the state. And let's build Serbia as a paperless economy. Okay, we are at the beginning, but this is part where we can intervene and what we are trying to do. But when we speak what is necessary and what kind of examples we have to share and to show basically locally, is something that we also have to nourish this attitude inside our company. And this is what we are doing. So what we are trying to be innovative within our company. And we are doing simply by imposing various projects that we are encouraging our employees to share different kind of ideas, which later on could be developed. And by selecting what ideas could be developed, financed by our bank, we are especially targeting those ideas that are making impact locally, meaning impact outside of our banking environment, but going deeply into our society, making a difference.
Sorry. We need to get time to Mr. Storchak. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Mr. Storchak, your answer for the second question, please. Sorry.
Okay, again, thank you for allowing me to speak. My answer is very simple. The slogan of my institution is very simple. Our force is in our partnership. This is official slogan of National Bank. So in terms of concrete job, it is worth mentioning that we are coordinator of 12 different development institutions in my country. So 12. I understand that we have special features, and in many other jurisdictions, there are not so many different development institutions. But nonetheless, it's fact that we rely our activities on these coordinating and partnership with these development institutions, plus with another bodies and government authorities. Just a good example of assembling different stakeholders to achieve common goals is the work we've done developing our green finance standards. I already had a chance to describe it. At the very beginning, we were faced with very complicated tasks, and we had to create a new set of rules for market where players were very reluctant to change their policies. And it's quite understandable for my particular country if we take into account the structure of the economy. So consideration of interests of all stakeholders is the key factor to create innovation. In our time, in our communities, it's very important. So very often innovations do not take root in societies because people do not understand and do not accept them. So it's a must for us to explain how this cooperation between 12 different development institutions will work. And we hope that we'll do it successfully and manage to receive good results at the end. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nino, thank you, Dradika, thank you, Sergei Starchak. Thank you very much for your valuable insight and perspectives from the banking industry on how innovation is part and parcel to your sustainability thinking. Let us now move to our second group of panelists. Allow us just a minute to bring them on. Without further ado, I would like to introduce. So, Ms. Beata Gorniak, HR Director and Board Member with PKP Energetica, a cross-country electricity distributor to the Polish railway network. Hello. Mr. Dmytro Sakharuk, Executive Director of DTEC, a Ukrainian holding company that develops business streams in the energy sector. Ms. Dimitar Tsotsarkov, Chairperson of the Supervisor Board of Azarel Medic JSC, a joint stock company whose core activity is open pit mining and processing of copper and other types of ores. And Mrs. Cameron Ulkar, General Manager of Unilevel Central Asia and Iran, Board Member Unilevel Turkey, Central Asia and Iran. Hello. So we have two questions, and you have just 3 minutes for 2 answers. And my first question, how important is an innovative mindset to transforming business operations, and what else is needed to spur innovation so as to advance environmental and societal sustainability? And how did your company accomplish this? Okay, Ms. Beata Gorniak, you will be first, please.
Thank you, Olena, for introduction. I think that it's worth to begin when describing the starting point of the industry in which PKP Energetica operates. We operate on the middle between energy and rail sector, and because we, the panelists in this group, mostly come from the Central and Eastern Europe countries. We are aware how important the railroad system was for the economies of the countries like 30, 40 years ago. Then in 1990s, there was a switch rather to the road transport, and the rail was not perceived anymore as the attractive employer and actually the industry with the forward-looking opportunities. So luckily it started to change in the recent years. And actually what we can observe now is the process that the rail is establishing itself as a clean, energy efficient and low carbon means of transportation. My company main responsibility is selling the energy to the rail sector, distribution of the energy to the rail sector, and also the maintenance of the rail network. And when you think of this all, there is a great responsibility of the reliability of this rail road system. And when talking about the reliability and how to think about it, you immediately think about the employees you have on the board, whether they are committed, well-informed, with technical knowledge, and of course, with a big concern of occupational safety. And bearing this all in mind, we think that there is a great responsibility on the companies like PKP Energetyka to attract innovations and to attract competent and qualified workers. And we work very hardly on creating the workplace where the value-based partnership and fair relations between employer and employees are our daily work as the managers. And we have worked out many processes and procedures to build the ethics standards in PKP Energetyka, which consists of anti-corruption, diversity, anti-mobbing policies. We think that this is also our responsibility as the employer to cooperate with secondary schools, universities to promote the work in the railway sector. And the last thing to mention is that we work very strongly also on the safety issues in PKP Energetyka. We launched the Mission Zero program with the goal of reduction of accidents to zero. Actually, in the future, there are a lot of activities relating to risk management, occupational safety, and actually the leaders responsibility on safety. I want to say that we are quite successful on this throughout the last 5 years. The reduction of accidents in PKP Energetyka was by 34%. Thank you.
Thank you, Beata. And now, Mr. Dmytro Sakharov, please, your answer to the first question.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. DTEK is the biggest energy company in Ukraine. We produce gas, operate renewables. Also, we have retail and distribution in Ukraine. For us, innovation is a part of our strategy, part of our DNA. In 2020, we started implementing our new strategy 2030, which reflects our priorities to transform into more eco-friendly, efficient, and technological business. We based our strategy on ESG principles, environmental, social, and governance. We fully share the goals of the European Green Course and realize that decarbonization is not a fashion trend, but a real necessity. That is why in our corporate strategy, we set an ambitious goal to become a carbon neutral company by 2040. And obviously that this ambition goal could not be achieved without innovation and new technologies. We aim to foster the culture of the open innovation and digital transformation of our business to become a digital enterprise around 2025. We introduce innovation along the entire value chain, extensive use of the modern digital technologies and artificial intelligence solutions and robotization and production. It's impossible to implement ambitious plans for business without team cohesion and high professionalism. That's why to prepare the company for the working with the new challenges, Energy of Innovation program has been created. It's a corporate MBA. ID School, it's an innovation school. Decline School. These programs are developed by the DTEK Academy, which is the biggest corporate university in Ukraine. And this year we celebrate 10 years of our academy. They are set to develop the cutting-edge project management skills to improve innovation implementation in the business. they are also intended to shape a company culture that will promote change and innovation. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Dimitar Tsotorkov. Sorry, maybe it's for my mistake now.
Tsotorkov, yeah, right. So,
please,
just very quickly, our company is the biggest copper producer in Bulgaria, and we've been innovating, or we've been investing in our 7 programs of sustainable development for the last 20 years. After the privatization of the company, we've invested more than $1 billion. And our principle is that innovation doesn't happen in a day. So we have developed this culture into our DNA of innovation and doing even more than what's required by law in terms of safety at work and ecology. So maintaining absolute standards that are preventing any sort of negative impact on the environment. The result of that is that we are able to operate one of the 3 mines in the world that are operating at the impossibly low 0.27% of copper content, and we make a successful business out of it. I think that's the future. The future of mining is to invest a substantial amount of the resources and the profits of the mining companies into innovation and sustainable development, and reinvesting into the most modern technologies to be able to operate at a very low grade and fulfilling all the complex requirements needed for a mining company to operate. Why mining is necessary? Why we cannot do without mining? It's been estimated that by 2040, the amount of copper and metals that need to be produced in order to achieve the inevitable green transformation and carbon neutral economy would need to be doubled, especially about copper. So this is inevitable, and mining is absolutely necessary. And if you want to be in business, or if we want this to happen, the mathematics shows that every mining company should embrace the culture of constant innovation and investments into the latest technologies that would enable companies to produce at a lower and lower grades. And of course, deviating or reinvesting a substantial amount of the profits of the companies into the more and more stringent requirements or technologies needed to meet the stringent requirements of corporate social responsibility, ESG, maintaining the environment as near as possible to its pristine and original form. So that's in a nutshell. 2 examples.
I'm so sorry because your time is over. Sorry, okay? We have second question. And last answer, Ms. Cameron, please.
Sure, of course. Thank you very much. Let me first start to saying the world is really in a big crisis at the moment. You know, the problems of the world are big, complex, and frankly, not one corporation or country can really solve the problems. I mean, take COVID, for example, as an example. To overcome the pandemic, the governments, the corporations, the citizens, the health workers, they all need to connect, to find out the solution and act with solidarity and with a lot of integration. So in Unilever, actually, this is how we see the innovation. So we put our sustainability as the core of our business strategy. I mean, it's almost like in the last 12 years, sustainable business is at the core of our strategy. And innovations as a big part of our strategy is actually has to serve to this purpose. So the whole investment we are making in R&D, which is equivalent to 1 billion euro, 5,000 scientists serving to 2.5 billion consumers every day, is actually taking the starting point from the sustainable living strategy and designing the products accordingly. We have a principle of zero emission. We have a principle of zero virgin plastic, for example. We have a principle of raising the living standards of the citizens, creating a more inclusive world, bringing up sustainable solutions. So all that thinking of innovation is actually designed around this principle. And not only just us, we are bringing our full ecosystem into it, suppliers, the government, NGOs, and then designing the innovations by using the technologies to really address those issues, not only in the times of old thinking, innovations are designed only to give a benefit to the consumer. We change that mindset completely in order to really serve to our core vision of sustainable living.
Okay, and thank you, Cameron. And second question for all, how can we leverage multi-stakeholder partnerships for breakthrough innovation? Do provide a successful example of this. Please, Beata, you will be first again.
Thank you, Olena. Well, actually, the nature of our business is that we rely on not only partnership, but relationship with our customers and stakeholders. One of the pillars of our growth based in our strategy is the ambitious project Green Railway Program. Its goal is to have the rail carriers transition to 85% of renewable energy by 2030. And actually, this program was developed by the entire railroad industry, grouped in the Center for Railway Energy Efficiency, and PKP Energetyka, my company, was chosen as the integrator of this project due to the fact that we have unique competences and also this unique localization and this rail ecosystem. The Green Rail program requires PKP Energetyka to work diversely with many entities. We, of course, primarily cooperate with rail carriers, but also with the local governments and businesses. Our intention is to reduce the carbon footprint of railroad in Poland, and we estimate that the reduction will have place by 8 million tons of CO2 by 2030. And this all demands from us a lot of relations, partnerships, and coordination. We see it as a very interesting project, and we also see and predict that because the client are most likely every time to choose the products which are clean, energy efficient, that the Green Rail program will also influence the attractiveness of the rail transport in Poland. We estimate that the growth will be by 12% in the next 10 years. I would like to also add that when talking about the partnership. Yes, thank you, Olena. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dmytro Sakharov, please, your successful example. I need to show. You need to show it.
Okay. At the Tech, we understand that for breakthrough innovation, we need to move beyond the single firm and engage in collaborative network. We at the Tech looking for innovative products and solutions all over the world. The Tech is an industrial partner for many companies in Ukraine and outside of Ukraine. We have a special business digital and transformation and innovation unit that was established to search for and implement new solutions and technologies. We basically provide innovation in 3 horizons: search for innovative solutions and to increase the level of safety, business efficiency, and environmental friendliness of production, solutions for adapting to change the energy, and creating new businesses that relate not to energy. So basically, this unit run scouting around the world. We have a lot of partnerships with Ukrainian startups and from Israel, from France, from the UK. And basically, this synergy provides us new ideas that we implement as a company. We test a lot of ideas within the company, and basically we sometimes we're the first client for these small businesses, and we believe that it also promote the business spirit in Ukraine. We fully believe that only in cooperation we can be innovative and can drive the change not only within the company but also within the Ukrainian business environment.
Thank you, Dmytro. Thank you, and Mr. Dimitar Tsatsarkov, please, your answer.
Just 1 minute. I see we have 2 minutes to 1 minute. We work only with solving our complex challenges in the mining industry of today. We work only with world-class companies, and we have implemented the latest technologies to be able to operate at such low rates. So, for example, we've cut carbon emissions by 40% by implementing a conveyor belt system for our overburden and ore. We have cut electricity consumption in our dressing factory by 15% by implementing leading technologies in the factory. We are participating in a pan-European project called X-Mine, together with the Finnish Institute of Innovation and Technology, to improve core drilling and database at our geological studies, which would improve efficiency immensely. We have created maybe the most advanced hospital in Bulgaria, which is serving well the local community, and it's a huge investment of more than $70 million. So this is also an example of one of the examples of the successful public-private partnerships in Bulgaria. So mining companies can be integrated into the social network of the country, and we are a leading example. So thank you.
Thank you. And last answer, Cameron, please. 1 minute.
Let me share you the scalable ones from the global examples. The first example I can give is actually from Brazil, where we have been part of a technology platform called Pulpex. Unilever, Diageo, and Pilot Life come together to eliminate plastic from the packaging completely. So it will be revolutionary when we can really solve this problem and eliminate plastic from the packaging completely. The second example is from our sourcing network. We are collaborating with Orbital Insight, which is a US company, which is using geotechnology to help us to understand whether the harvesting ingredients that we are using in our products are actually coming from sustainable resources where they are harvested, and it is really eco-friendly. The other example I can give is a collaboration with our customers, where we are putting in refilling stations in the stores and inviting our consumers to use refilling in laundry detergents, in deodorants, in toothpaste, for example, and really reduce the plastic again going to the environment. Those are the 3 examples I can share, which are at big scale, at a very short period of time actually left for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our time is over. Unfortunately, I thank you very much for your ideas, for your experience, for our useful discussing. And have a nice day. Have a nice deals. Thank you very much. So much.
Thank you. All the best.
Bye-bye.